if you're in the presence of the beautiful, you're in the presence of God. And the thing about beauty is that it's probably the fastest way to put you in the presence of God. Because philosophy requires powers of abstraction that most people don't have.
Yep.
And morality requires self-discipline that most people don't have. And so you have failures along the way, but pretty much anybody can be impressed by beauty. So if you go to St. Peter's Basilica in Rome and you walk inside, you cannot be unaffected by that. You are overwhelmed. This is a sign you're in the presence of beauty, where you just kind of stop and you just stare. The question with good is, how do we achieve the good? How do we achieve it? Through our actions. You have to understand the moral law, which is basically a description of successful actions that will lead you to the good. Or the negative would be the 10 Commandments, which is these are bad actions that will lead you away from the good. Okay? The other question is, how do we apprehend what is true? Okay? Right. So the good, how do you achieve the good? That's called practical reason, and the science of practical reason is morality. If you're talking about the true, it's called pure reason, and you don't, the goal of pure reason is the truth. The goal of practical reason is the good. And then the final thing you have is beauty.
Right.
Which is also a transcendental characteristic of God. And this is, I think, the most interesting aspect of it, because when you're in the presence of beauty, you're in the presence of God. Okay. And people don't quite understand that. People tend to let's just talk about the good, or let's just talk about the truth. So good is morality. We need that. Truth is science. We need that. Beauty, nobody understands it. Nobody understands it as a transcendental. And I'm saying that's why I wrote the Dangers of Beauty, my book on aesthetics, because it's just as important as morality and science. Just as important. So it's unity in multeity, and that's exactly the experience of God. So you have a perfect fusion of existence and essence. So it's real, but it's really organized. So you can look out the window, and that's real, or you can do geometry, and that's really organized. But if you have geometry that's alive, that's beauty. And that's what you perceive, and that puts you in the presence of God, because that's what God is. So he is absolute existence and absolute essence in a way that you can't distinguish it. And it is so powerful that you will be content to stare at that for eternity. It's called the beatific vision, because it's so beautiful. You will never exhaust that beauty.